we'll see what happens. The military's not on the table. I don't think it'll be necessary. I really don't.
Okay.
I think people are going to use better judgment. They'll use their best judgment, and I don't think that will not be necessary.
Have I got a video for you today? Boy, it's moments like these, my fellow Americans and my fellow global citizens, where you just feel so grateful. You just want to thank your lucky stars. I mean, I've said this in prior videos. I wake up every single day and thank God Almighty that President Trump won fair and square on November 5th, 2024. And today, as President Trump gives his speech in Davos, Switzerland for the World Economic Forum, I am just absolutely swelled with more gratitude than I think I've ever had. You know, all the talk was really tough for these European countries like France and Germany and Denmark. You have this Danish member of the European Parliament actually telling President Trump, I'm not going to play the video for you, but actually telling our president, the United States, all you mooks would be speaking Japanese and German if it wasn't for us, actually has the audacity to tell President Trump to F off. But when Big Daddy shows up, so they all talk tough when he's not around. They all talk tough when the cameras are on them and, you know, they have a chance to maybe clip it and put it on their website for their reelection campaign or God knows what to defraud their poor citizens. But when Daddy shows up, he starts singing a completely different tune. I'm going to share with you some of the most powerful moments. I think I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is going to be the best video that I've done in ages, because not only are you going to see Trump command the world stage and go scorched earth, reminding everybody that you would be nothing, PM Carney, you would be nothing. Denmark, you would be nothing. France, you would be nothing without the United States of America. Norway, Finland, Sweden, Switzerland, all of you would be nothing without the United States of America. Oh, and stick around because President Trump drops an absolute bombshell breaking news. He even says it. This is breaking news. I'm only telling you right here, right now, because I do that, right? That's who I am. He actually breaks news on some upcoming prosecutions live in the middle of his speech. So stick around for that. You're not going to miss it. But I have to play this first clip first from our great Secretary of Treasury, Scott Bessent, who absolutely nukes greasy, feckless, spineless, soulless Gavin Newsom, who has no business being in Davos, who looks like he's high as a kite. Like, no kidding. He looks like he's high as a kite. He was mumbling and shuffling with reporters, darting his eyes, moving his hands like he always does, like some deranged lunatic. Watch this masterclass of obliteration from Secretary of Treasury, Scott Bessent, and then stick around. I got more coming. Check it out.
I think it's very, very ironic that, you know, Governor Newsom, who strikes me as Patrick Bateman meets Sparkle Beach Ken, may be the only Californian who knows less about economics than Kamala Harris. He's here this week with his billionaire sugar daddy, Alex Soros, and Davos is the perfect place for a man who, when everyone else was on lockdown, when he was having people arrested for going to church, he was having $1,000 a night meals at the French Laundry, and I'm sure the California people won't forget that. And I can tell my message to Governor Newsom is the Trump administration is coming to California. We are going to crack down on waste, fraud, and abuse. And I was told he was asked to give a speech on his signature policies, but he's not speaking because what have his economic policies brought? Outward migration from California, a gigantic budget deficit, the largest homeless population in America, and the poor folks in the Palisades who had their homes burned down. He is here hobnobbing with the global elite while his California citizens are still homeless. Shame on him. He is too smug, too self-absorbed, and too economically illiterate to know anything.
Thank you very much.
Let me know if you need any further clarification.
I love this America First cabinet. God, I love this America First cabinet. God bless you. Secretary Bessent nailed it. I couldn't have said that better myself. Woo! I'm going to play for you now a couple of clips here that I think are just totally brilliant. And then I'm going to share with you some live breaking news that I just got right now from my beautiful researcher, my wife. That's really, really big news. Here's the moment that Trump talked about how Europe should follow the U.S. in putting a halt to mass immigration and stop transferring its manufacturing capabilities to third countries. Watch this.
That's how you two and the places where you come from can do much better by following what we're doing, because certain places in Europe are not even recognizable, frankly, anymore. They're not recognizable. And we can argue about it, but there's no argument. Friends come back from different places. I don't want to insult anybody and say I don't recognize it. And that's not in a positive way. That's in a very negative way. And I love Europe, and I want to see Europe go good, but it's not heading in the right direction. In recent decades, it became conventional wisdom in Washington and European capitals that the only way to grow a modern Western economy was through ever-increasing government spending, unchecked mass migration, and endless foreign imports. The consensus was that so-called dirty jobs and heavy industry should be sent elsewhere, that affordable energy should be replaced by the Green New Scam, and that countries could be propped up by importing new and entirely different populations from faraway lands.
It's just so refreshing. This is why I keep saying that Trump has really revolutionized the entire political landscape, because politicians don't talk like this. Politicians are not authentic. Most politicians are not as direct, and just calling it for what it is. How are you supposed to get anything done if all you do is worry about being reelected as opposed to actually making a difference? How are you supposed to get anything done if all you care about is the burdensome, ironclad fear that, my goodness, this is why the hypocrites don't do a damn thing. They don't do jack. The ironclad fear that, my goodness, I may have to actually compete for an income in the free market, free enterprise capitalistic system like the rest of us. I can't do that because I have no track record. I have no resume. I have no qualifications. That's why the Democrats don't do anything. You see, Trump, he doesn't need fame. He doesn't need money. He's earned his position. He has built multiple businesses. He practically built New York City with his real estate developments and deals. The man has produced the best television and entertainment the world has ever known. He is a builder. He's an innovator. He's rolled up his sleeves and actually gotten dirty. That's why he can tell it like it is. That's why he can actually enact change. That's why he can actually get things done. He is not beholden to any obligation. He's not a slave to any lobbyists, etc., etc. It's so refreshing. And what do these politicians do? What do these rhinos, what do these do-nothing GOP party do? Well, quite frankly, they do nothing. I want to hear from you, especially because I know we've got some amazing viewers from Canada, Europe, and the like. What are your thoughts on what Trump's saying? Like, you guys need to stop this. We can't recognize these places anymore. Let me know in the comments down below. Okay, this next clip right here, I thought was so sweet, where Trump talks about his love of Europe and what's happening with this whole kind of woke ideology and how they're destroying themselves. And he talks about his own kind of background. Check this out.
Look, I am derived from Europe, Scotland and Germany. 100% Scotland, my mother, 100% German, my father. And we believe deeply in the bonds we share with Europe as a civilization. I want to see it do great. That's why issues like energy, trade, immigration, and economic growth must be central concerns to anyone who wants to see a strong and united West, because Europe and those countries have to do their thing. They have to get out of the culture that they've created over the last 10 years. It's horrible what they're doing to themselves. They're destroying themselves. These beautiful, beautiful places. We want strong allies, not seriously weakened ones. We want Europe to be strong.
I'll never forget when my parents offered me one of two things when I graduated from college. They said, I can either give you a check and you can go kind of about your business and maybe start whatever venture you want to start, or go to master's school or graduate school, which I did later, regrettably, because all these degrees are worthless now. Or I will buy you tickets to Europe and a Eurail pass. And this was, 30 years. I don't even know how long ago it was. But I'll never forget. I took the Eurail. I wanted to go see the world before I was 19, maybe 20. I wanted to go see the world. No, I'm sorry. I was maybe 22, I think, or 23. I wanted to go see the world. And I'll never forget the beauty, the majesty of places like Germany. I went to Wiesbaden, Frankfurt, Rome, London, Soho, all these places. We made it to Paris, just beautiful. Brussels, Amsterdam. These were beautiful places. Fantastic, gorgeous cultures, civility, society. What's happened to you guys?
We never asked for anything, and we never got anything. We probably won't get anything unless I decide to use excessive strength and force, where we would be, frankly, unstoppable. But I won't do that. Okay? Now everyone's saying, oh, good. That's probably the biggest statement I made, because people thought I would use force. I don't have to use force. I don't want to use force. I won't use force. All the United States is asking for is a place called Greenland, where we already had it as a trustee, but respectfully returned it back to Denmark not long ago, after we defeated the Germans, the Japanese, the Italians, and others in World War II. We gave it back to them. We were a powerful force then, but we are a much more powerful force now. We're building the Golden Dome that's going to, just by its very nature, going to be defending Canada. Canada gets a lot of freebies from us, by the way. They should be grateful also, but they're not. I watched your Prime Minister yesterday. He wasn't so grateful. But they should be grateful to us. Canada lives because of the United States. Remember that, Mark, the next time you make your statements.
And after what I'm about to share with you, he didn't need to use force at all. I want to play for you a couple of clips of vintage Trump when asked by reporters, what do you think of all these European leaders disrespecting you? Oh, it's beautiful. But Carney, you're on watch, man. You got to watch your step, because you are forcing the United States. I think Trump has been really generous and really nice to you. I mean, I'm not going to play for you some of these statements. I played for you some of it in the video yesterday. And by the way, my entire step-by-step argumentation that's data-driven, backed by evidence and concrete examples as to why Greenland is not as crazy as everybody thinks it is. I'll leave that video in the pinned comment. A lot of you guys missed it. Go check that video out right after. I'll also leave it on the end card, but you have to see this. But Carney, you are really playing with fire, and you're about to get burned. Trump is right. Where's your gratitude? I mean, you guys are just like petulant children that forgot who feeds you. Like, are you kidding me right now? I mean, I know you guys had a cushy little party when Vegetable and Chief Biden was the unlawful president of this great, glorious country, the greatest country mankind has ever known. But it's all over. Daddy's home. Daddy's back. And you better watch out. And if you're like me and you remember when you were a kid and you were messing around and doing things you shouldn't, and your mom said, do you want me to call daddy at work? What happened? You straightened right the H up. So Carney, you're on watch. You better straighten up. Okay, here's a first clip where a reporter asked the President Trump, the Danish foreign minister, rejected your call to negotiations. And he says, I didn't call him. And then watch Besant and Lutnick crack up. And then the one that is just absolutely brilliant, where the question is, Danish foreign minister said he rejects your negotiations for Greenland. And then wait till you hear Trump's response.
Mr. President, the Danish foreign minister rejected your call to negotiate on Greenland. What will...
I didn't call him.
No, sorry. The this is not something that they are willing to discuss. So what will those negotiations
Well, they
look
didn't
like?
tell me that, so when they tell me, because I don't like getting it secondhand, if he wants to tell me, he'll tell me that to my face.
And when will you be discussing this?
I have no idea.
When you said you
I'll
would,
be discussing it with this man right here.
Mr. President,
He's frankly more important.
you said you would remember if Denmark did not agree to a deal on Greenland. What did you mean? What are the consequences?
You'll have to figure that out for yourself. You're a smart guy.
Oh, it's so nice having Daddy back. It's so nice having a real leader back. Take heed, everybody. Well, guess what? Here's some breaking news for you right here. He didn't have to use force. Nobody said anything to his face. And it looks like Greenland might be a part of the United States. Trump posted this just minutes ago, based upon a very productive meeting that I've had with the Secretary General of NATO, Mark Rutte, who he was pointing to and said, this guy's frankly more important. We have formed the framework of a future deal with respect to Greenland. And in fact, the entire Arctic region. This solution, if consummated, will be a great one for the United States of America and all NATO nations. Based upon this understanding, I will not be imposing the tariffs that were scheduled to go into effect on February 1st. Additional discussions are being held concerning the Golden Dome as it pertains to Greenland. Further information will be made available as discussions progress. Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, and various others, as needed, will be responsible for the negotiations. They will report directly to me. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America. All that tough talk, all that looking so, that bravado, thinking you're all badass, all of that tough talk just slowly melted away. Just like the ice is going to melt in Greenland when the United States turns that into a tour de force. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. And if you think I'm just like making this stuff up, I got a video that's going to blow your mind out. And then I'm going to talk about the breaking news that Trump dropped about prosecutions. Check this out. Finnish president is walking back his statements. Alexander Stubb, when he said that Europe can defend itself. We don't need the Americans. Watch this.
First is a direct answer to the question of this panel, can Europe defend itself? My answer is unequivocally yes.
Without the Americans?
Without the Americans, I mean...
How?
Well, look...
But you're relying on them for these key elements. You've said earlier that Europe can defend itself without the Americans. If it comes down...
not exact, Mike, so that's not a quote.
More or less, more or less.
Let's...
We'll go back to the transcript.
Let's stick to the left on this one, yeah?
More or less, more or less.
I love journalists.
That is the smile right there of an absolute rat who has no conviction, no backbone, no beliefs, no dignity, no honesty. Look at that smile. It's demonic. All you pussies thought you were so tough when Daddy Trump wasn't around. Well, Daddy's home, Jack. I would really love to get your thoughts and opinions on everything, especially when it comes to Greenland. If you haven't seen that breakdown that I produced yesterday, you got to go check it out. Like I said, I'll leave it in the pinned comment. Now, here is the insane breaking news that Trump just broke at Davos. President Trump announces that prosecutions are about to commence over the rigged 2020 presidential election. Watch.
Thousands of miles away, separated by a giant ocean. It's a war that should have never started, and it wouldn't have started if the 2020 U.S. presidential election weren't rigged. It was a rigged election. Everybody now knows that. They found out. People will soon be prosecuted for what they did. It's probably breaking news, but it should be. It was a rigged election. You can't have rigged elections. You need strong borders, strong elections, and ideally a good press. I always say it. Strong borders, strong elections, free, fair elections, and a fair media. The media is terrible. It's very crooked. It's very biased, terrible.
Wow. Well, that's something that we've all been longing for, that we feel has been long overdue. It sounds to me that Trump knows something that we don't, and I hope to God to see those prosecutions coming, because we all know there's no way in a billion years, the math ain't mathin', that sleepy Joe Biden, the vegetable in chief, got 15 to 20 million more votes than the Black Messiah, Barack Obama? Are you kidding me? Now, just me saying that could get this video taken down. So let me know that you're here. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. I can't wait to hear from you. Please tap that thumbs up as it helps us to spread our message to make common sense go viral. Don't forget to check out these videos coming up here. Check this one out right here. This is what I'm talking about. This is the full breakdown. Tap my face right here to subscribe and follow. It's absolutely free. And as always, may God bless you and may God bless the USA and all who defend her. I'll see you soon.